Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Oppressions, Volume 3, Book 43. Volume 3, Book 43, number 620. Narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. Allah's Apostle said, when the believers pass safely over the bridge across hell, they will be stopped at a bridge in between hell and paradise where they will retaliate upon each other for the injustices done among them in the world, and when they get purified of all their sins, they will be admitted into paradise. By him in whose hands the life of Muhammad is, everybody will recognize his dwelling in paradise better than he recognizes his dwelling in this world. Volume 3, Book 43, number 621. Narrated by Safwan bin Muraz al-Mazini. While I was walking with Ibn Umar holding his hand, a man came in front of us and asked, "What have you heard from Allah's Apostle about a najwa?" Ibn Umar said, "I heard Allah's Apostle saying, Allah will bring a believer near him and shelter him with his screen and ask him, 'Did you commit such and such sins?' He will say, 'Yes, my Lord.' Allah will keep on asking him till he will confess all his sins and will think that he is ruined. Allah will say, 'I did screen your sins in the world and I forgive them for you today,' and then he will be given the book of his good deeds. Regarding infidels and hypocrites, their evil acts will be exposed publicly, and the witnesses will say, 'These are the people who lied against their Lord. Behold, the curse of Allah is upon the wrongdoers.'" 11.18. Volume 3, Book 43, number 622. Narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. Allah's Apostle said, "A Muslim is a brother of another Muslim, so he should not oppress him, nor should he hand him over to an oppressor. Whoever fulfilled the needs of his brother, Allah will fulfill his needs. Whoever brought his Muslim brother out of a discomfort, Allah will bring him out of the discomforts of the day of resurrection, and whoever screened a Muslim, Allah will screen him on the day of resurrection." Volume 3, Book 43, number 623. Narrated by Anas bin Malik. Allah's Apostle said, "Help your brother, whether he is an oppressor or he is an oppressed one." Volume 3, Book 43, number 624. Narrated by Anas. Allah's Apostle said, "Help your brother, whether he is an oppressor or he is an oppressed one." People asked, "O Allah's Apostle, it is all right to help him if he is oppressed, but how should we help him if he is an oppressor?" The Prophet said, "By preventing him from oppressing others." Volume 3, Book 43, number 625. Narrated by Muawiyah bin Suwald. I heard al-Bara bin Azib saying, "The Prophet orders us to do 7 things and prohibited us from doing 7 other things." Then al-Bara mentioned the following: 1. To pay a visit to the sick, inquiring about his health. 2. To follow funeral processions. 3. To say to a sneezer, "May Allah be merciful to you," if he says, "Praise be to Allah." 4. To return greetings. 5. To help the oppressed. 6. To accept invitations. 7. To help others to fulfill their oaths. See Hadith number 753, Volume 7. Volume 3, Book 43, number 626. Narrated by Abu Musa. The Prophet said, "A believer to another believer is like a building whose different parts enforce each other." The Prophet then clasped his hands with the fingers interlaced, while saying that. Volume 3, Book 43, number 627. Narrated by Ibn Umar. The Prophet said, "Oppression will be a darkness on the day of resurrection." Volume 3, Book 43, number 628. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. The Prophet sent Mu'ah to Yemen and said, "Be afraid, from the curse of the oppressed, as there is no screen between his invocation and Allah. Volume 3, Book 43, number 629. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. Allah's Apostle said, "Whoever has oppressed another person concerning his reputation or anything else, he should beg him to forgive him before the day of resurrection, when there will be no money to compensate for wrong deeds. But if he has good deeds, those good deeds will be taken from him according to his oppression which he has done. And if he has no good deeds, the sins of the oppressed person will be loaded on him." Volume 3, Book 43, number 630. Narrated by Aisha. Regarding the explanation of the following verse, if a wife fears cruelty or desertion on her husband's part. 4.128. A man may dislike his wife and intend to divorce her. So she says to him, "I give up my rights, so do not divorce me." The above verse was revealed concerning such a case. Volume 3, Book 43, number 631. Narrated by Sa'al bin Sa'd as Sa'idi. A drink, milk mixed with water, was brought to Allah's Apostle, who drank some of it. A boy was sitting to his right, and some old men to his left. Allah's Apostle said to the boy, "Do you allow me to give the rest of the drink to these people?" The boy said, "O Allah's Apostle, I will not give preference to anyone over me to drink the rest of it from which you have drunk." Allah's Apostle then handed the bowl of drink to the boy. See Hadith number 541. Volume 3, Book 43, number 632. Narrated by Said bin Zaid. Allah's Apostle said, "Whoever usurps the land of somebody unjustly, his neck will be encircled with it down the 7 earths, on the day of resurrection." Volume 3, Book 43, number 633. Narrated by Abu Salama. That there was a dispute between him and some people, about a piece of land. When he told Aisha about it, she said, "O Abu Salama, avoid taking the land unjustly, for the Prophet said, whoever usurps even one span of the land of somebody, his neck will be encircled with it down the 7 earths." Volume 3, Book 43, number 634. Narrated by Salim's father, i.e., Abdullah. The Prophet said, "Whoever takes a piece of the land of others unjustly, he will sink down the 7 earths on the day of resurrection." Volume 3, Book 43, number 635. Narrated by Jabala. We were in Medina with some of the Iraqi people, and we were struck with famine, and Ibn Azad Zubair used to give us dates. Ibn Umar used to pass by and say, "The Prophet forbade us to eat 2 dates at a time, unless one takes the permission of one's companions." Volume 3, Book 43, number 636. Narrated by Abu Mas'ud. There was an Ansari man called Abu Shu'aib who had a slave butcher. Abu Shu'aib said to him, "Prepare a meal sufficient for 5 persons so that I might invite the Prophet besides other 4 persons." Abu Shu'aib had seen the signs of hunger on the face of the Prophet, and so he invited him. Another man who was not invited followed the Prophet. The Prophet said to Abu Shu'aib, "This man has followed us. Do you allow him to share the meal?" Abu Shu'aib said, "Yes." Volume 3, Book 43, number 637. Narrated by Aisha. The Prophet said, "The most hated person in the sight of Allah is the most quarrelsome person." Volume 3, Book 43, number 638. Narrated by Salama. The wife of the Prophet, Allah's Apostle, heard some people quarreling at the door of his dwelling. He came out and said, "I am only a human being, and opponents come to me to settle their problems. Maybe someone amongst you can present his case more eloquently than the other, whereby I may consider him true and give a verdict in his favor. So, if I give the right of a Muslim to another by mistake, then it is really a portion of hell fire. He has the option to take or give up, before the day of resurrection.